Okay, let's see. We got everything together. Ruth, I did get your template for tonight, which I needed because I was struggling. So I'm
You're
glad we got
welcome.
that. Did you get yours, Victoria?
I got it now. It's right here.
Uh, uh,
Pulled up.
Have you done something amazing with it?
Nope.
Okay.
No, so we'll just wing it then. That's what you're saying, right?
That's what it's going to be.
That's what
A
it's.
Cool.
wing.
We will be like our listeners tonight. This is going to be the first time we've heard some of this stuff too. So
I know. I got my.
Awesome.
I did pick up my paper and pen.
that's
Okay, see, you're ready then.
I got
That'll work.
I got mine. I got mine. Okay, who's going? We're going to do our weekend review as we usually do. Got that down. Um,
All
Victoria,
right, ladies.
you want to open up tonight?
No, I'll let you go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right then. If that's what we
All,
gonna do. That's what we're gonna do.
all right, everybody. It's time to roll the open. So
All right. Thanks, Alan.
have a great show.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is Andrea Hines, and welcome to Authors Up. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you. We know our listeners are going to be coming in. We got Angie Cooks already. Hey there, Angie. Good to have you on Authors Up tonight. And Linda, good evening. Good evening, Linda Cooks. Glad to have you on tonight. We're always happy to have everybody on the program, and we're really, really glad that you have joined us tonight. You could be doing any number of things on Sunday evenings, but you have chosen to spend your Sunday evenings with us, and we are glad about it. We got something exciting for you this evening. Miss Ruth has got some interesting things for us.
Mm-hmm.
For
Yep.
Yes.
before we
Yep.
get into that, I'm going to let these ladies tell you good evening, and then we're going to dig deep and get into some deep, deep stuff tonight. Deep stuff.
Woo.
So why don't you welcome the folks, Victoria?
Welcome, everybody. Glad you're here with us tonight. Got to give my queen wave.
And how about you, Ruth?
Welcome, everybody. And we are so glad you've joined us. And I just want to say it's such a difference being able to see you guys.
Yes,
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
wonderful.
it is great. It is great. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Change is good. Change is
Yes, it
good.
is.
If sometimes you go kicking and screaming, change is good.
It
Change.
wasn't that bad, was it?
No, but
Okay.
always does bring about things. That's what I want to say. It brings about good things. And I'm
Good.
glad about that. I really, really am. We always start with our weekend review. I don't know if I was really skilled, I'd flip a coin and see who was going to go first. But
Alphabetical order.
See,
my first name, my last name. Yeah. Uh-huh.
hey,
I'm
I'll go
still last.
I'll go first. I'll go first. My weekend review. I just it wasn't anything really eventful. I didn't have any aha moments or any things like that going on. Just kind of trying to stay on track and trying to stay on task and get get things lined up a little better, because when all of my shows now are going to be live, so that
Mm-hmm.
really changes how we interview our guests, how we line our guests up,
Mhm.
and all of those
Right.
things that used to take us 2 days to do or 3 days to do with scheduling is now, here we are, we're live, we're on, we're getting it done, we're bringing the people in. So it's I spent a lot of time just kind of looking at that and trying to
Right.
see, okay, what does that really look like? How has that really changed the way that we do things? And
Right.
I'm liking it more and more. I'm liking it more and more. It's actually less time than it was before. We thought we were kind of saving time to pre-record. Uh,
Wow.
but it's actually less time, because 7 o'clock here we are, and we get going and we get rolling, and
Yep.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So I did a lot of work on that, and I was just looking at my step tracker. And
Okay.
last week, you will be proud of me.
All right, drum roll. Come on with it.
Because I had three days of over 8,000 steps,
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Come on.
2 days over 10,000 steps. Hey,
Gangster. Gangster.
come on. I did it. I did have a good week in terms of walking and getting those steps in, and
Good.
and I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy about that, because that is a struggle and a challenge for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad that happened. I just want to welcome in Leah. Leah, I saw
Mhm.
Gibson pop up there. Good evening to you, Leah. Glad to have you with us tonight here on Authors Up. Hope you will enjoy the program. And that's all for my week in review. So I think that puts us at Ruth.
Okay. Well, I guess it's my turn. So, um, I had an awesome interview yesterday.
Yes. Good job.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So, plug, if you guys haven't seen it, it's on Facebook Live. You can go to my page and it's available there. But it's just, and Andrea, I think you said it earlier, being on Authors Up really did prepare me for that. And
Mhm.
it made such a difference. Obviously, I was on the other side of the asking questions and stuff, but
Yeah.
it made such a difference, um, through the process, and we actually talked for an hour, and it was just like it went right by, and it was just like, "Okay, that was really cool, I could do this again." So, I'm gonna be doing it again.
Good for
Ah,
you.
But no, I enjoyed it, and it came natural, and I hope that, for whoever watched it, that it was a blessing to them.
yeah,
Yes, yeah, it,
really.
it it was a nice interview.
Thank
I
you.
was blessed, and I
Thank
knew
you.
all the information, so, so that's all right.
And I still learned some new things.
No,
Okay, okay,
That's
well, thank you.
that's the joy of having interviews with different people, because
Mhm.
they pull different things out of you whenever you
Yes.
talk about it, and you think, oh, I know all about Ruth. I know all that.
right? Did you know she could preach like that? Did you
Hey,
know?
hey,
And
hey,
she
hey.
okay? She pulled all them scriptures out. Them scriptures.
It was
Well,
wonderful. Well done.
It was.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, kudos to you. And Miss Victoria.
Well, hello, my bronze girls. Mwah, 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 mwah. I think I need to tell the listeners why I say bronze girls. One of
Yes.
my favorite shows, if anybody knows me very well, is what?
The
Golden
Golden
The Golden
Girls,
Girls.
yes.
The Golden Girls. And so I don't want to think of us as that old yet. So what is golden? It's gold in the Olympics. It's gold. Then it's silver, right? And then bronze. So
Okay.
that's why I call y'all my bronze girls. I don't want to say silver head too yet. We won't talk about that. And I don't want to say we golden because we not. Y'all are my bronze girls. So that's why I say it. Okay. And I love
Okay.
y'all. All
Well,
right.
we love you too.
My week in review, well, it's nothing much going on, just a regular work week. But it was a 3-day week because we had the holiday on Monday, and
right?
then we're off at my job for Fridays for the summer. So it was just a short week, and it was it was just wonderful, wonderful to be off like that. And then my last thing that I did was, do y'all notice I built a bookshelf since
Oh,
last
stop.
week?
Victoria, it is Sunday. It
See, yeah, you know you're wrong.
I built a bookshelf via Amazon. You didn't let me finish. So we just thank God for the new bookshelf. Courtesy, this is authors
Yeah,
up.
we
It's
look,
authors
we
up.
we thank God for Amazon too.
Yes, we do. We thank God
That's
for it.
all.
So
Mhm.
that was my week in review. Let's see what I can build by next week.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
Mm. Oh, listen, Victoria. So I
Hello.
went to the optometrist this week, and I was
Okay.
sure that my prescription had changed because I
Why?
can't see X clear anymore. I thought my
Oh, okay.
glasses aren't as strong.
Okay.
Turns out that I'm just getting old because he was like, he said, as you get older, the elasticity in your eyes change, which is why you need readers. And he was being very nice in
Yeah.
the way he was saying, "Okay, honey, you're just getting old."
Yeah. Who
So,
asked him for all that?
but that just I thought of that as you were saying, bronze girls. I appreciate bronze. I didn't
Instead
realize
of
that it
silver
was
or
just right
gold.
below silver, so we may
That's
have to
right.
do silver soon.
I know that's right because I can't see either. I just be pretending.
I the only thing I know is the last time I went to get my glasses, and I told the gentleman, I said, I just can't see clearly. In
Mhm.
and I was talking about distance and all of that, and I said, things aren't clear anymore. And he said, "Oh yeah, they won't be."
Oh God.
And we pay them to hurt our feelings, don't they?
Why am I in here getting glasses only for you to tell me, "Look, lady, this is as good as it's gonna get"? And
Okay.
quit
Well,
worrying.
look, it is what it is. We here. I'm
Mhm.
grateful. I thank God.
Yep,
I thank God for
absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
Yep,
Well, I want to share something with our listening audience, Ruth, before we turn it over to you.
sure.
And we did something was it last year, year before last?
Mhm.
I think it was last,
Almost a year ago.
almost
Yep.
a year ago. We did something called the cost of compromise.
Hmm.
Went back to old school radio theater. And we had a playwright, wonderful playwright, Aisha Stocks, and she gave us her play, and we were able to get actors to perform it. And we did it for a month, every Sunday for 4 weeks.
Yes.
We perform, or they performed, the cost of compromise. And that's something that we are looking to do again. A lot of our listeners have gone back to that particular set of programs
Mhm.
in order to listen. So we're going to do not the cost of compromise. We have something that we are kind of keeping in the on the back
Offer.
burner.
Yeah,
That if we have a playwright, though, if you know of a playwright, if you have a play that you would
absolutely.
like for us to bring to life, we need to hear from you as soon as possible. And you can get to us at authorsup@gmail.com. That's authorsup@gmail.com. And be sure to just tell us, I have a play, or I'd like to refer a playwright to you. They have a wonderful work, or whatever words you want to put around it, and give us some information so that we can get back in touch with you, or so that we can reach out to them and let them know that this is in the works. It is like a staged reading, if you've ever been to a staged reading before. So it's not, you don't have to have the pressure of learning lines, because
Mhm.
you're going to be reading it from the script that the author wrote. So if you have any interest, if there is an actor in you hiding somewhere, and you've been saying, "I need to get this out,"
Just like that.
sort of like
Just
our
like
first
that.
girl Victoria up there, but you just want to get it out. Now is the time. This is the platform to do it. And we would love to have you participate in that. So again, that is going to be, our dramatic theater piece. And it's going to be coming up in the fall. So it's very
Mhm.
soon. So we want to get a head start in finding out who's interested in that and how we can get you scripts and all that good stuff so that we'll have plenty of time to get everything together. So that's all I needed to add for right now. So unless you have something, Victoria, let's turn it over to Ruth
All
and
right.
let her have at it.
Go for it, Ruth.
All right, all right. And I am so excited to be sharing tonight and just challenging everybody. So we've got, I think one of our comments last week was to have a show on how to write a memoir. And I thought about that. And to be honest, I had a presentation at work where we talked about writing that matters. And I gave everybody a 6-word memoir challenge. Now, this is something that we did talk about briefly earlier in the year, but I thought it would be good to talk a little bit about it and then expound on it. And then tonight, our wonderful hosts, co-hosts, are going to write their own memoir,
Woo, got my
and
pen.
we want our listeners to join in. So, by all means, get your pen, get your paper ready, because we're going to talk about writing that matters, and we're going to write our own memoirs. So, just very briefly, when it comes to books, basically, I think we get intimidated because we start thinking about how many pages and how many words we need to have down. But the truth of the matter is, it comes down to messaging and content. The messaging is the purpose, it's the why you're writing what you're writing. What are you trying to share? What are you trying to write? And especially with a memoir, you start thinking about what in particular about your life are you trying to share? When it came to writing When Love is Angry, obviously we focused on my bipolar diagnosis and then our marriage, how it
Mhm.
affected that. So, someone else may have lived a um spectacular life. I think back to the those commercials, the most interesting man in the world for I think it was Dos Equis uh, beer commercials.
Mhm.
And the actor himself led an extraordinary life. So he was able to create a memoir that he titled The Most Interesting Man in the World. So, when it comes to writing a memoir, you want to pick out, what exactly you're going to be sharing, because there are just some things that we're just not going to care about. The fact that you brush your teeth or went to the bathroom or, got up and went to work, those things are not necessarily spectacular. So, um the other things you want to think about is who's your audience, who you're trying to talk to, who are you connecting with, and what form does it take. So those are some of the things you want to think about as you're writing your memoir. But then you want to think about content as well. How are you content is the presentation of the information. So you want to talk about it illustrates your why. In writing, you want to think about the basics, the beginning, middle, end. So it doesn't have to be wordy. In fact, most books nowadays are kind of short. Anything under 20,000 words, which is average about 100 pages per book. So, keeping all that in mind, we're going to talk about the 6-word story. So, give you a little backdrop on it. There's a literary legend that says Ernest Hemingway was once sitting in a bar in the Florida Keys, and he was either with a, a bunch of close friends or patron, and they got into a discussion that he could not write a micro story, which is obviously a story that has very few words. In this case, he could not write a complete story in 6 words. He said he could. The patron or the friend said, "Nah, you can't do that." So they made a wager on it. I think the wager was like $10, which, going back to the 1920s might have been something.
Right.
Um, they made a wager, and he took a napkin and he wrote, "For sale, baby shoes, never worn." and he won the bet. Depending on who tells the story, they said that person was just moved to tears because this was the most um, emotional, heart-rending story that they had read, and it was only 6 words. So, again, this is just an anecdote. We don't know that it was true, but it
Mhm.
makes for an interesting story. When you think about how it started a flash a movement, basically, when it comes to flash fiction, it makes for a great story. So, um, and it's a great exercise for today because it's it it allows you to tell a story with extreme brevity. But stories like this make you think because you are limited to 6 words. So that means that you have to be able to tell a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you have to offer some kind of development. So, like with this, for sale, baby shoes never worn, it tells a very specific story and it tells a very sad story. I mean, think about it. Why else would baby shoes not be worn?
Mm.
So, there is a beginning, a woman was pregnant. There is a middle, something happened, and then
Mhm.
there's the end. So, um, these kind of challenges make you think about the story that you want to tell and the words that you want to use. So, for today, what we're going to do is we're going to tell a memoir. We're going to share our memoir. It it can, think about a specific time in your life. And I'll give you some examples of it so you can, it's not just a flashy little, mantra or anything. Some of the ones that have been written, Oprah did a 6 word one, said seeking the fullest expression of life. Another one, and I think I like this one because I think it tells a very good story. Julia Chambers wrote thin, fat, thin, fat, thin.
Wow.
Yeah, but that tells a story, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
does.
yeah.
Some
Yeah.
of the other ones, every 20 years, I reinvent myself. Survive the divorce, learn to live.
Mm.
Abandoned at 5, learning to thrive. Attempted normal life, still got surprises. So, there's a lot that you can tell in just 6 words. And it's not that you have to introduce these characters. It's not that you have to do all that. When it
Yeah.
comes to these kind of challenges, you want to think about your words and then think about the story you want to tell. So, we're going to take just a couple of quick minutes. I know I told you guys about this challenge earlier. So, think about what you want to write, and go for it. So, we will start the clock right now. And again, we want, stop making that face, Victoria. We want to include our listeners as well. Think about the life that you've lived. Think about the life you want to live. Think about how it's affected maybe your outcome, how maybe something happened and it affected what happened in your life, and then see what 6 words you can use to express that. Um, Again, it's not a whole lot of words, but the words that you do choose count. Think about, again, the life that you've lived.
I'm thinking that this is a wonderful exercise for our listeners.
See how she didn't include herself in that?
Yeah, yeah.
I, I think
No
writers,
fair.
right,
Yeah, see?
Angela Oliphant, and
Mhm.
non-writers like Linda Cook. I'm just thinking, I'm just saying that this is a
And Leah Gibson, you still hanging with us?
Leah, don't go away now. Now is not the time to leave.
And I wonder where my sister is. She told me she was gonna join.
No,
Mhm.
Oh, look at Leah.
right.
Oh my goodness. Look, she already said
Oh, wow.
something. Oh,
Yeah.
See?
oh, she
See
didn't go
that?
anywhere. I'm actually
I
ready.
like it. Two deaths, same year, left alone.
My,
I
my,
Mhm.
my.
love it. Look at
Mhm.
That's
it.
that's
It can't be
powerful.
done.
That's
It
powerful.
can't
Yeah.
be done. And you
Yeah,
don't
it can.
have to stop there, Leah.
And see, that's the thing. When I did this at work, we I was in a room with 9 other folks, and sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. And it gives you, you start thinking because we had several folks who were able to come up with several. One person would just was not able to, and that's okay. Sometimes you need a little more time to think. But when it comes to think about your life. Think about what you've experienced. Think about what you are experiencing now. Um, you got
Hmm.
plenty to share. I promise you, you got plenty to share. So,
Listen.
Andrea, you got about 15 more
Ding,
seconds.
ding, 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 ding,
You
ding,
know what,
ding,
Andrea?
ding, 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 ding.
See, see.
I,
Um,
well, I actually do have a couple of things. I don't know
see.
if they're right, but they'll be
Uh,
right for me. I think Victoria should be the next one to go.
okay,
That's
come on.
okay. I don't. Y'all ready? You ready?
Yeah. Oh,
Go
Okay.
okay.
ahead.
Young living, careful living, living victoriously.
See.
Boom.
Drop the mic, girl. You go.
I'm gonna type that in to the
Mm-hmm.
Facebook chat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, I will share mine.
Okay.
Um, it is almost gave up, loving life now.
All right.
So, again, you think about, and this will be a plug for my book, When Love is
Ah,
Angry. That's just a 20,000 word expanded version of this. So, it is possible to tell your story in 6 words
Mm.
and to
wow.
get that emotion in there.
Wow. I didn't think I could do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we can all do it. We can all do it. I promise.
I was really skeptical last week.
I was too.
Okay. Okay, Andre, what you got?
Well, don't no, don't judge. Let's see. 8 years, no
No lie.
life.
Today life. I love it.
Years,
Love it.
no
I
life.
love it.
Today life. Okay, that's good.
Hmm.
That's good. That's good. Okay, I had two things.
Okay.
Thing number one was generations gather, healing on the horizon.
Mm.
Generations gather, healing on the horizon.
I like it.
And then I had disease, diagnosis, diversion, delays, determination, destiny.
All right.
Nice.
All
Very
right.
good.
That's six. Yes.
That
Okay.
is awesome. That is awesome. So,
That's not easy.
no.
That's not easy. Hey, where is Angela? Angela
Right? Come on, Angie.
bail on us. What happened to you, Angela?
Because you're taking a break tonight. But one thing,
Linda.
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Linda said you gonna be calling me out. I'm not gonna be calling you up. I'm not gonna play with you, bronze girls.
Okay.
Leave me alone. This is really, really interesting, Ruth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I say that because we got something. I got married to. Well, let's.
Okay. Where did that come from?
I don't know, but I
That's
think
okay.
you need to take that down, Alan. I'm not sure that that's
Well,
what we.
it went away. We won't even worry about it.
Okay. But I think that we can easily get intimidated, like you said, Ruth,
Mhm.
with all
Mhm.
of the things that we think we have to do. And I think the 6 word challenge is a way to remind us that there is a story there.
Mhm.
There is a story there, and it isn't quite as difficult to tell
Mm-mm.
as we might think, especially a memoir,
Yeah.
Right.
because that's you. You don't
Mhm.
have to worry about the characters. You don't have to worry about um, any of those other intricate things. And Ruth, I always like the reminder that you give us that writing is writing,
Yeah.
editing is editing.
Absolutely.
And when you just begin to put your heart down on things,
Mhm.
there's not a lot that can be uh, I hate to put it this way, but it's not a lot you can mess with. you know
Right.
that's my story, that's my life, that's my you can't come behind me and say, well, I think she ought to. Well, no,
No,
maybe she ought
you can't mess with the facts, right?
No, and that's the beautiful thing about it because the story is already there. You don't have to come up with you don't have to come up with it. I think back to and I read a lot about films and stuff. The director, I can't think of his name for 12 Years a Slave.
Mhm.
He said he wanted to tell a story like that. And he was trying to come up with the characters, trying to come up with things. His wife went to a yard sale, found the book, which again had been
Wow.
out of print.
Oh my
She took it
goodness.
home to him and she's like, here, you don't have to write it. All you got to do is adapt the book. and,
Wow.
and and I think that we often get mixed up and we forget, the story is already told. All you got to
Right.
do is write it down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
I'm finding it hard. I'm finding it hard to where to begin. To be
Hmm.
honest with you, how to start it? Do I start like from today and then
Hmm.
go backwards, or do I start from
back in the day,
like
and forward.
like for me with my diagnosis? Do I start with the diagnosis and bring it in? That's where I'm a little conflicted.
Hmm. And I mean, and I think it goes back to what I always tell you guys too. You just got to start. If you don't
Yeah,
have anything on paper, you have nothing to edit.
that's
And
exactly right.
sometimes, you will get um ideas as you start writing. You may
Writing.
start going, okay, I'll just start at the beginning and then go, or, start in the middle and go, maybe I need to tell the story in flashback. Maybe I need to do it this way.
Right.
And those are the kind of things you need to think about, and not necessarily even think about. You just got to start and say, okay, I'm going to tell my story, and if you can sit down and start writing it, that's when the ideas are coming. That's when you'll figure out, okay, this is how I'm going to write my story. Because like you say, Andrea, everyone has a story to
Everybody,
tell.
everybody.
And
Really.
you don't know who you will affect by sharing your story.
That's right.
Right, right.
Hmm.
And you know what? I actually thought the 6 word challenge was a little different. I thought you were going to give us 6 words and tell us to make a story out of it. Now I
That
can
would
do
be interesting. Now, that's a little more challenging, and I could certainly do that.
That's along the line of my time story time. Instead of having a title, we'll have 6 words.
Words.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hey,
You,
Angela Oliphant came up. Came
uh-oh.
up young, married, unexpected divorce, discovering me.
That's a story.
Mm,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
That's
that
a
is a
I
story.
story.
I like that.
Yep.
Angie. Good, good, good.
Yay. That's a story all by itself. That's a lifetime movie, lady. Oh.
Maybe let's move it to the Hallmark Channel.
Okay, okay.
I
I'm
would
sorry, sorry.
like for us to explore, and we might do a little of it this year with the radio theater. Um, but I would like to spend some time talking about taking that book and making it a screenplay. What do you have to do if they're just
Okay.
like there was a formula for the 6 word challenge.
Mhm.
There has
Mhm.
got to be a formula for taking the story and making the story a visual story.
Mm.
That's because there are a lot of, when you start talking about screenplay and things like that, there's a lot more to the writing, and it's different.
Oh yeah, it's
Because
very different.
you have to think of set, and you have to think of where people are standing and what they're doing, and all of that. And you had that. I don't know that you had that experience, but one of your books I know was picked up for review and
Mhm.
possibility. Did you have to change anything, or did you simply submit it, and we were hoping that somebody would take what you submitted and turn it into a screenplay?
Well, for me personally, I just submitted the book. So it was
Mm.
presented to several producers, and one of the things that she did talk about was finding a screenwriter who could adapt
Oh,
it to a screenplay.
okay.
Now,
Okay.
there are a lot of authors who do their own screenplays. If you guys ever seen the movie Holes by
Hmm.
with Shia LaBeouf, that was one where the author wrote his own screenplay. Again,
Okay.
what was another one? Fight Club. That was
Oh.
another one where he wrote his own screenplay. So,
Okay.
and the interesting part is that they make their own changes. If you read the book and then watch the movie, you'll be able to see where the author adapted their
Okay.
own story to be able to put it up on a screen. Because you're right, Andrea, you have to think in terms of, okay, when you're reading something, you need to be able to see it with your mind's eye. Whereas when you're watching a movie, and Linda, that is absolutely
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Absolutely great.
Linda. Yay. That's another lifetimer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That's
Good
it.
job, Miss Linda.
I've
Absolutely.
seen adult development
Absolutely. I love
growth
that you guys joined
recovery.
us for that. So,
Yes.
but
It's
yeah,
interesting. I'm sorry, Ruth. I didn't
no,
mean.
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, I was thinking about the fact that one of the things that I like so much about your book um, is that I could see it.
Mhm.
All your books, I could see. I could see the park benches. I could see, the secretary in the office. I could
Mhm.
see. I could see them so clearly.
Yeah.
And I think one of the I don't know whether I would say one of the tricks to writing, but you want, for the most part, I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but for the most part, when you read my book and you read my book, I want you all to see what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Absolutely.
want you to come away and think, well, this character was the bomb, and you come away and say this character was nuts, and you come away and think, that was definitely a Golden Girl moment. You come away and say that poor Bronze girl needed to do something with her life. But to be able to write it in a way that it's your story, but you're telling the same story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Reader to feel what you wrote.
That they're in
Yeah.
the book. That they're like
Yeah.
in the book.
In the,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and even though these 6 words that we've come up with are very different, you
Mhm.
know, I still think that anybody who sees those 6 words, except for the baby shoes threw a lot of people off. But these are very clear
Yes.
Yeah.
concepts.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are very clear concepts, and I think they could be written.
Oh yeah.
I
I
think,
I agree. I agree.
yeah,
I think if we spend because I mean again, when you're writing your own story, you know your story. It's
Yeah.
already there. It's already written. It's just a
Yeah.
question of you sitting down and actually putting the words down to paper. So
Yeah.
Linda, when when she sits down to write her story, She'll be able to say, okay, child, teen, adult, development, growth, discovery.
Yes.
That's
It's a
basically her
clear
outline.
path.
Yeah.
It's a clear path.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Same thing with let's see some of the other ones.
Angela.
Angela.
Yes. Same
Ooh.
thing with Angela.
And Liz.
Young Yeah, all
Oh,
of them. It
oh,
basically tells you what the story is. So again, remember I said, there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. And
Mhm.
it's not, necessarily hey, happily ever after and all that, but there's a certain end that you're going towards. Again, not every story it will be the same. When you read Michelle Obama's book, um
Mhm.
she told about certain specific times of her life, and it was just to show her life. You
mhm.
get to President Barack Obama's book, and the first 400 pages are just about 4 years. So,
Mm.
that's a very specific chapter in his life as opposed to his wife's book. So,
Right.
the story that you're telling. It's just a question of, sitting down and telling it.
Well, I tell you what, we are almost out of time, guys.
Already?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
This has been really interesting. It was challenging, but
Mhm.
I totally get how this could be the basis for just moving forward in the area that you didn't possibly think you would be in. As
Yeah.
Mhm.
Angela says, Cicely Tyson's book is great. Has anyone read it?
Not yet.
Not
It's on my
yet.
list. It's on my list to get.
Angie, have you read it? Tell us if you have. Well, you must
Mhm.
have because you said her book was great. So I missed that. So you must have read it. She was an amazing woman, and
Yeah.
Definitely.
I
Yes.
think that there's always something when someone is,
Okay.
we find out a little more about them
Oh,
uh,
absolutely.
through the things that they have. Liz said, "I have it, not yet, not yet."
Okay.
That's something that we need to do, guys. Maybe Angie's putting it out there because she wants us to read it and talk about
Okay.
it. It could be. It could happen, Angie. It could happen.
I definitely want to read it. She was definitely one of my heroes. She
Yeah,
wrote.
Mhm.
she rose. Right, right. Well, guys, I thank you. This has been really, really good.
Oh, Lori.
Laurie says, ladies, you make a person come alive and desire to tell their story on paper. Thank you. So
Well,
Awesome.
thank you.
Laurie, we're going to be looking for some things from you. You can't put that kind of stuff out there on Authors Up and
Aha, aha.
think we're going to leave you alone. We're going to be looking a couple of months down the road. Say, anybody heard from Laurie?
Right?
But we thank you for that. We thank you for that. And I thank everybody for joining
Absolutely.
tonight. I do want to remind you that this program is uh, rebroadcast.
Mhm.
You can go on to ALH Broadcasting and see it at any time, but an
Yes.
actual live rebroadcast is done when
Saturdays,
Saturdays at
7 p.m.
7. Mhm.
Yes.
7 o'clock. Saturdays at 7 o'clock, right here on Facebook and also on
Yes.
SIBN.net for those people who would prefer going on the web to watch. And it also, look, share
Please
it.
do.
This is a good program to share because it challenges somebody else. It makes somebody else think. And it's something that you can do with them. Just
Mhm.
say to somebody, I want you to watch this show with me and we're gonna do this little 6-word thing, you know, and just really enjoy it and enjoy yourself and enjoy your friends that you share with. So that is it for us for tonight. Do you have any closing comments, Victoria?
Just thank you everybody for joining us once more. I'm going to see what else I could build. Maybe I'll add a couple shelves to my bookshelf for next
Yeah, she's gonna read those books too.
Try to set a candle on there next week. Why don't you? Ruth, do you have any closing comments?
No, I just want to thank everybody. Again, if you guys have any questions, know an author you want to refer, anything at all, have any show ideas, you can email us at authorsup@gmail.com.
.com.
That's it. That's it. And that is it for us for tonight. Again, thank you all for joining us. We
Mhm.
got some
Thank
laughter
you.
in, we got some good nuggets in, and we're always, always happy to greet you here on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. So
Absolutely.
next week, you make it a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday night, 7 p.m. right here. God bless you.
Absolutely.
See you guys.
Bye.